So I began this series with Cyberpunk 2077 after seeing some people being confused over the hype surrounding something they've never heard of. And now The Dark Knight returns because apparently 23 is old enough to feel old from witnessing people on the internet not knowing what Fable even remotely is. In the past week I've seen lots of confused people who don't get what all the fuss is about. These videos are for those people. So, what's the deal with Fable?
And so our story begins.
In July of 1997, 4 months after I was born, a spunky little British game company named Lionhead Studios, spearheaded by Peter Molyneux, rose from basically nothing and vowed to make quality games without ever growing too much.
You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
They went on to do some things, but this video isn't about Lionhead, so I won't delve too deep into it. However, in 2006, they were acquired by Microsoft due to financial troubles, and because Microsoft wanted Lionhead's next big thing, Fable, to be an Xbox exclusive. Microsoft threw Lionhead's goal of not growing out the window by expanding their office into what was described as the office of a real game developer by staff. This is where we hop off the Lionhead Studios train and move on to the original Fable. Was released in September of 2004 for PC and Xbox, and was met with crazily positive reception. Its freeform yet more approachable RPG style met right in the middle between hardcore RPG gamers and people who are new to the genre, like myself at the time. The clear-cut decision-making that was actually reflected in your character's appearance was a cool and different feature that set the game apart, along with the series' signature British humor. Gave it a unique identity that resonated with players across the globe. At this point, Microsoft smelled blood in the water and decided Fable would continue on to their next console, the revolutionary Xbox 360. In 2008, armed with Microsoft money and complete freedom, Fable 2 built towers of gold on Fable's rock-solid foundation, expanding every aspect of the game while still making it an easy experience to jump into. The open world was gorgeous and big, the characters were charming, and the combat was simple yet satisfying. Everything about Fable 2 was just incredible. Official Xbox magazine called the game the most consistent sequel ever made, due to its adherences to the original while still expanding and improving things. Fable 2 is one of my favorite games of all time, and even more so than its predecessor, gave me the taste of RPGs I needed to dive headfirst into the rest of the genre. And if not for Fable, I might have never played The Elder Scrolls or Witcher. It received critical acclaim across the board, and another sequel wasn't far off. Fable 3 released in October of 2010, and at the time was my personal most anticipated game ever. Boasting systems similar to Fable 2, but featuring an all-star voice cast that included the likes of huge actors such as Michael Fassbender, John Cleese, and Stephen Fry, it seemed like Lionhead was well on its way to releasing another banger. Cool and exciting new features like the Sanctuary and holding hands with NPCs made it seem like the Fable series would continue its undefeated streak of innovation. However, this is where the fairy tale gets a little sad, as Fable 3 didn't quite live up to the series' standard. Its new features felt more like they ruined the game rather than enhanced it. Lionhead was very proud of the Sanctuary and how they'd removed menus from the game, but these things distracted from the fun and made simple things such as looking through your inventory or leveling up your abilities a hassle with loading screens. This is where Fable became oversimplified compared to other RPGs and began to falter. IGN described the PC version of Fable 3 as a royal disappointment, and I don't disagree. I didn't like how shops worked. I didn't like that a long list of items to purchase was replaced with 2 or 3 swords on the walls. It was unimmersive and unfun. I still enjoyed the game enough, but it didn't really do anything to top Fable 2, and feels more like a hassle to replay. Angry Joe really laid it out in his video titled Top 32 Reasons Why Fable 3 Sucks, which I'll link in the description. He gave a comprehensive list of reasons why it was such a huge letdown.
This game killed my son!
Notice the wording there. Top 32 reasons. Since there are more that were less worth mentioning or he couldn't get to, I think it's a brutally honest deconstruction of Fable 3, and as a huge fan of Angry Joe and Fable, I have to recommend it. Seth also has a great review of the first game, by the way.
More wasps have spawned. but they are no match.
God bless Australia.
I'll also link that in the description. Not to mention that Fable 3 was hit with the plague known as microtransactions. And as Angry Joe mentions in his video, you have to pay extra money in the real world to have black dye, which is just silly. Fable 3 was the best game of the modern Fable era though, which is to say it was pretty bad, however enjoyable, especially compared to all the other cash grab garbage that came out after it. A multiplayer beat 'em up called Fable Heroes was okay for what it was. Fable the Journey was just an offensive piece of garbage to longtime fans and described as a disaster by Lionhead staff themselves. Fable Legends garnered threats to ban me from Xbox and Instagram from a Lionhead rep because I posted a publicly available screenshot of the game on my Instagram before it was canceled. Soon after Fable Legends was canceled in 2016, Microsoft closed Lionhead Studios down while they were making Fable 4. And longtime fans like myself who were looking forward to the redemption arc just went back to playing Skyrim. However, in 2018, rumors began to circulate that Forza Horizon developer Playground Games was being tasked with the development of Fable 4. Though as most rumors do, they faded away after a few weeks, and the dream seemed fruitless. That brings us to 2020. The human race is on its knees as we're all hit with tragedy after catastrophe after disaster, and there's no hope of a better life in sight, besides Cyberpunk. And then a hero emerges to save us from the darkness, to save us from the evil and corruption of the world, as Fable was the last game announced during the Xbox Game Showcase in July, and it's being developed by Playground Games. And like a phoenix rising from the ashes, Fable fans rejoiced across the globe. After an eternity away from us all, Fable is back.
Death is not your destiny today, Sparrow.
And it looks like it's being rebooted, which is cool. I'm down for a full overhaul. Perhaps they'll make it one seamless open world. Perhaps it'll be much more of an in-depth RPG to hang with the big boys. Whatever they do, I just hope it's still Fable in the end, and I hope that there isn't any crap like the Sanctuary, because that just really sucked. So thanks for watching What's the Deal with Fable? Like and subscribe for more.